the run-up to the Karnataka elections, Mirror now travels across key constituencies of India's Silicon City, Bengaluru, and brings you the citizens' pulse on pressing issues. My colleague Neha has been tracking the Mahadevapura constituency in Bengaluru. It is home to the iconic Bengaluru Lake, which has been neglected of late. In fact, Mahadevapura was supposed to be the pride of Bengaluru, but today it is battling rampant illegal construction and unplanned growth. Bengaluru is often called the city of lakes, and Mahadevapura has one of the city's most loved lakes, the Bengaluru Lake. But we all know the state of affairs at these lakes, from being sources of drinking water to turning into pollution cesspools. Bengaluru's lakes need some serious work, and Bengaluru Lake is no exception. Take a look at this report.
Election is typically all about the people's mandate, apart from the money and the muscle power. So today, we decided to visit the Mahadevapura constituency, which comprises of almost about 5,90,000 voters. The people of this constituency pay taxes of over 800 crores, which contribute to the country's multi-trillion economy today. Now, while on one hand, the constituency has seen massive growth in terms of tech parks, and, it is, of course, the IT capital of the country today, Bengaluru. But on the other hand, you have the other part of the constituency that's seen illegal constructions, unplanned development, and rampant growth with no proper plan in place. On Mirror Now, we've always echoed the people's voice. So this time, ahead of the elections, while several others are, of course, covering political issues, we decided to get down to ground zero and speak to the people and understand what is it really that's been troubling them, what is it that's been bothering them over the past 5 years, and what are the promises that they've seen unfulfilled that they hope to see changed with a new government possibly coming into place. I'd like to start by asking you, for many years now, we've been seeing that the Mahadevapura area has been one that's been growing and contributing taxes. But as far as the infrastructure is concerned, every time there's an issue, it's always coming in from Mahadevapura. As a resident, as a citizen who's paying his taxes, I want to ask you, what changes would you like to see in this area?
Some of the problems that we are seeing is that because of this growth that's happening in Mahadevapura, there is civic infrastructure problems, right? The civic infrastructure is not being able to cope up with the incoming development, right? On an average, I think there are 1,000 to 2,000 citizens who are coming into Bengaluru on a daily basis, and guess what? 70 to 80% of that new incoming population is coming to Mahadevapura constituency, and the more jobs being created, the more number of people coming into Mahadevapura, you need to upgrade the civic infrastructure, be it the water, be it the footpaths, be it the electricity, be it the garbage disposal. So this is one thing that we want to see improve in Mahadevapura.
When I moved in Whitefield in 2004, this place was, was a golfing practice range and a go-karting area. So you see all these sprawling buildings have come up. So buildings have definitely come up, IT parks and apartments have come up, but the civic infrastructure never catched up. But now probably it's kind of coming to a point where it is like almost there. The basic infrastructure of UGD, all those things, digging, all that has been done. Roads are to some extent in place. With metro there, I think the pressure on the roads also will be less. So now actually it's time to kind of rethink and recalibrate and enable this newer infrastructure to function, right? So the old ways of thinking has to go. Right. Like if the metro has come, now the footpath, the last mile connectivity, the walkability of the roads are more important than trying to build the roads to accommodate as many cars. So now we need to rethink from that perspective. So
a lot of promises have been made by every government which has come to power in the state of Karnataka. In your understanding, possibly now over the past 5 years or so, We'll talk specifically about one of the issues being the lakes, be it the Bengaluru Lake, the Vartur Lake. They've always made headlines for all the wrong reasons. There were, court orders that directed various governments that came into power to, do things. Are you happy right now with the kind of, governance or with the kind of infrastructure that you're given? And if not, then what is it that you would be looking forward to from a government which is, good to now form?
Well, if you're talking especially about the lakes, I don't think very much has been done, and I don't think the intent is there. That's the impression I have. Like, for instance, the three of us, we have been fighting for a lake in our area, the Patandagrahara Lake. There was a road that was coming into the buffer zone, and it took many years, and we have somehow stopped that, but we don't know for how long. So these are the issues. So there is another Shilavantakere Lake, which I think Gautam was just mentioning when on the drive here, with a lot of sewage going in. And, no one is there to protect our lake. There is the buffer zone is always being violated. Builders are there. They are not, no one is there to even check this. So this is an issue which is very close to my heart. Like, we are fighting for these lakes, but no one is there to help us in this fight.
Massive tech parks. Now, this obviously means that the citizens of this area, or the residents of this area rather, would expect that the development and the infrastructure catch up with the rampant growth. However, over the years, with consecutive governments that have come and gone, this has not happened, and that's primarily why today we see this constituency facing issues of basic infrastructure lacking, drinking water facilities, improper garbage collection, lakes dying as they're crying out for help, and several other issues. Now, one can only hope that with the government that's now coming into play and with the elections in the state,
कांग्रेस की विचारधारा और कांग्रेस की नीति सदैव रही है